Hello there. Today is May 27th, 2012, and you're watching Overgrowth Weekly, episode 76. So, yeah, my name is Lucas.
Hey guys, I'm Antone. How's it going?
I'm Aaron.
And this week, Alpha 179 was released, and let's start the video for this one so you can see what's going on. So, not a whole lot of cool new stuff was added in this alpha actually, but there were some technical updates which are pretty cool to make the game more responsive, I guess, mostly.
Yes.
So
And well, I mean, and levels load a whole lot faster, especially some more intense levels. They really load quickly now.
And once they're loaded, things are a little less jumpy because it's not trying to load other assets kind of, mid-game.
yeah, exactly.
Right.
That's kind of what I'm showing off in this video. I had a first launch of Overgrowth that I recorded, and then starting up a level, and now I'm fighting. And as you can see, there are no these weird freezes whenever you use an animation for the first time. So this is really great for me because now I can jump into a level and record a video right away, and I don't even have to run around the level and do random attacks and do flips and all that to make sure that I don't get any hitches when I'm actually recording the video. So that's very useful for people like me, I guess.
Exactly.
And they also added threaded image conversion, which means the game is kind of multi-threaded now, I guess. So that's cool. Because I see that when I start the game now, it says image convert, found 3 image conversion threads or something like that. And I'm guessing it's using my 3 other cores for image conversion and 1 core for the rest of the game. Is my guess, at least.
Speeds things up a bit, I'm sure.
Yeah. So that's working when you're loading an asset for the first time, or an asset that doesn't have a converted texture yet. It's going to go much faster when it's converting the texture, and you're not going to get that freeze there either. So everything's just much smoother and faster. However, I guess there have been some bugs this week as well.
Buggiest alpha ever.
Yay!
Luckily, Anton was nice enough to put out a fix for a lot of the problems people have been having.
Yes.
Minor fixes.
I was lucky. I started playing the alpha a couple of days after it was released, so I didn't have to try to fix it myself. I just went on the forums and fixes were there already. So I was a lucky guy.
Lucky you.
Lucky.
Yeah. The sort of 2 major things that we were having bugs with is that the way that the wind files are loaded have to do with how they respond. Objects respond to wind.
Mm-hmm.
There was issues with that, so basically I had to load a bunch of those for you guys so you could grab them, and then also the game still doesn't find the default hotspots, and not sure how that's fixed, but basically that broke every single custom level that had any text hotspots in it,
Which is most of them.
More and more recently, yeah, it's been a lot of them. So I'm sure we'll see a fix for that soon. Getting those back up and working, and this is what happens with an alpha. These kinds of things happen.
Yeah, it's kind of refreshing with an alpha that works like an alpha should work. Get down to the normal level for a little while. But I'm sure the next alpha is going to be just as stable as the previous ones have been.
Yeah.
Jesus. And hopefully we will get an alpha video, because there was no alpha video this week because he didn't have any really things that you can actually show. So yeah, tomorrow hopefully we will get a video. I'm really hoping. But we did instead get this week a technical blog post, which is really cool, that we're going to talk about later on in the show. So that's nice.
Yep.
Definitely. I think a lot of people have been waiting for one of those for a while.
Yeah, I think so too. So yeah, let's jump on. That's the alpha for this week. Some really cool improvements there. And let's take a look at the fan art watch. So this week there wasn't a whole lot of fan art, but there was a bit. We have, let's see if I can take a look here. We have, first up in the top left, we have Adwuga with some kind of overgrowth screenshot. I don't know, it's really hard to see, but it looks cool anyway. In the bottom left and top right, we have Play Retarder. I'm not sure if I pronounce his name right still, but yeah, in the top right, his image there, it's a colored version of an image that we showed like a few weeks ago, I think, maybe last week. All weeks are like floating together for me. And of course, in the bottom right, we have Zed's image for this week.
I really like them. I think they're cool.
Yeah,
That-
Yeah, I like
Zed's
the high contrast
was not-
pieces.
Yes,
they're nice.
and they kind of are. Said he drew his too quickly, but I think that it's probably better than he gives him.
Yeah,
Better than anything I could draw, and that's all that really matters.
yeah, I think it's good. It looks nice. So not a whole lot of fan art this week, guys. You know what you need to do, man. So I don't know. Yeah, exactly. We just don't have a lot of fan art. So when we have little fan art, what happens is that the images that we show on Overgrowth Weekly in the fan art watch get much bigger because they have less images to compete with. You should think about that for a while. And with that, let's move on to the community side note segments, I guess, because yeah, why the hell not? So this week we had Last update his blood mod as he usually likes to do for the latest alpha. And we also had the mod by Morris being updated, and he added 2 new mods this week. One that makes you ragdoll when you run into walls. It's I don't know why really. I guess that's cool. And one mod where you can knock characters over with ragdolls, which I like because you have that in Luguru and it works pretty cool there. Yeah, except for some moments in Luguru, I don't know. Anyways, I wanted to try this out, but it didn't work for me. I don't know, have you guys tried the mod out?
I haven't
No,
tried it this week.
I just finished school on Thursday. I barely have any time since then. Hopefully next week I'll have more time for stuff.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, I haven't really tried it before, actually, and I was like, we have a few things on the agenda this week. I should try this mod and, make a video for it, all that kind of stuff. But it didn't work for me, so hopefully that'll work, because I'm going to make a video for it next week if it does. Because it sounds really cool. I like the idea of knocking over characters with ragdolls. And then we have the Angel Script dump by learn_more that was updated with the changes from the last alpha. Well, I guess one change at least that was from the last alpha. And then we have issue 3 of the Overgrowth Digest, which is, getting back to that. It's a really cool thing that a law is doing. And yeah, in this week he has a small article about Sum Launcher. So if you're interested in the history of Sum Launcher, what it is and what it does and what it's gonna be, then that's a cool article to read. And I really like that he's doing these articles. It's really cool, and I like what he's doing in general.
They're well written, and yeah, it looks like he's putting a bit of work into it.
Yeah, exactly. So there's no updates on of course he has news and stuff, general news as well as the article. So there are a bunch of different stuff in there, and it's not too long or too short either. So it's a good read. And there's no update on his website yet, unfortunately. I don't know. He was like, I could probably have this up in a couple of days, and that was probably true. I don't know what happened with that. I hope he's going to still get the website up. I guess we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we haven't really talked about it, so.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm hoping he's still on his website quest. And last on the side note segment, we have a bunch of weapons. The Grim Reaper collection by SamJB 1992, which contains a small scythe, a larger scythe. Is that the right pronunciation, by the way, Anton? Scythe?
We usually say Skype.
Yes.
A little more
Skype.
SC.
Really?
Really?
Scythe. I don't
I've
know.
been pronouncing it wrong my whole life then. I don't know.
Maybe I'm wrong.
I'm no expert.
Is it both? Maybe it's both. Depending on what
I
you
think
do.
I've heard both. Yeah.
We'll go with that.
So
Yeah, we'll go with
Everybody.
that. I just say scythe. I like scythe. Let's go with scythe. Okay, so a small scythe, a large scythe, and a huge axe is what you get in this weapon mod. So pretty cool stuff. And
Yeah.
that's the community stuff for this week. Let's jump on to the news stuff. Let's see what's new there. Okay, so we have a blog post this week, as I said earlier on in the show, about file systems and file paths, because David was like, when he did the alpha thing, he was like, I don't really have a video to show, but maybe you guys would like to see a blog post instead. And people were like, yes, I want to see a blog post. And so he did a blog post, and it's really cool. It's a really long blog post, really interesting to read if you're interested in like game file system file paths.
It's also
Yeah.
because he ended up writing a nice little class for handling checking directories to make sure that they're correct even on case insensitive systems, and he put that online. So anyone who wants to take a look at that, it's available. I think there's a link in the post somewhere for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So he's like put a lot of thought into this whole thing when it comes to for Overgrowth, which is cool to see. So he kind of goes through, what problems can happen and how you can solve them. You can see, for example, slash direction is different in different operating system. For instance, you have case sensitivity in some operating systems, and in some you don't, and so on. Yeah, if you're interested in these kinds of things, really interesting. I found it very nice, and I hope he keeps making these things.
Yeah, I would definitely enjoy more blog posts if possible.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Okay.
certainly when this was Lugaru 2 back before Overgrowth, I mean, that was one of the things that first got me excited about Lugaru 2, and then it kind of died, and then they came back with Overgrowth, and we had that full like year and a half of daily blog posts, and
Oh yeah,
man,
that was
it was such
crazy.
a great way to wake up every day and read a blog post. And it was really fun to really follow the development, and they crammed a ton of information in there. But at the same time, I do understand why they have kind of pared it back some.
Yeah. Too
But
bad
some-
they're
some
quite as
balance.
busy as they are. In a good
Yeah,
way.
I think one blog post a month in addition to the weekly alphas would be pretty cool. Like it would
It'd be a
be
nice
something
supplement.
where, yeah, exactly, somewhere in between. I think daily was too hard for them to handle. It's without
lot.
getting paid to run a blog, which they weren't doing. Then then it's not really viable. But
Mhm.
Yeah. I remember back at a GDC, I had a good number of people who walked up to the booth, cited that as one of the reasons why they kind of started following with some of David's tech posts from back in the day. Because I guess people more who are in the industry probably care about that a little more than just the general videos.
Yeah,
We
probably.
had a lot of people who expressed interest in that.
Mm-hmm. I kind of miss the good old days, because as you said, Anton, like when you wake up every morning and there's a blog post, it's almost like a new alpha every day. It's actually almost like
Christmas every
that.
day.
it was a little bit. It was, and but I understand that
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Takes
always
time.
find time for that.
They,
I mean,
they can't
my
go on
blog
forever.
hasn't-
I guess.
Right. I was gonna say I don't think I've updated my blog in over a year. So
Yeah, I've had the I guess what's it called? I don't want to say intelligence, but give me a word, Anton. I've had the
foresight. The foresight.
yeah, the foresight not to get a blog. Yes.
I'll go with that one too. I've had the foresight not to make one.
Yeah. Well,
Not laziness, foresight.
Yes, exactly. Very
if
good.
if you read my blog, the first thing I say is I suck at writing blogs, so don't expect anything from this. And I was not lying.
Yes, good.
I-
Don't
actually-
give people too high expectations. That's nice.
I think my last blog post was E3 last year, and E3 is now a little
Coming
more
around
than a
with
week
Roman
away.
doors. Close.
Uh-oh. I better post an E3 update again. Be like,
E3's
hey,
in like 8 days, something like that, 7 or 8 days.
week from tomorrow.
Yeah,
You
you gotta
should change it. It's not Anton's blog. It's bloody. It's bloody. Then you. I don't know. It's not Anton's blog. It's Anton's E3 blog or something. So if you just make one blog post every year, I think I think you'll be able to do that, Anton. Right? That would be pretty cool.
No, I
No?
can't promise anything.
That's good. Don't get people's expectations too high. That's good. You're sticking
That's
to that.
right.
Yep, absolutely. So yeah,
Good work.
blog posts. Blog posts
So
are
now-
nice. Very nice job by David.
Now, let's go back to the actual
okay.
topic at hand. On this blog post, a lot of people commented on where they believe files should be placed, especially user data in the file system. And I'm wondering, how do you guys feel about that? Because I know some people, as you guys know, I'm mostly a Mac person, so a lot of people were talking about save files to the app to the documents portion of the user's file, and I personally hate that. I like never want anything that I don't put in there because I feel like that's a place for me to keep my documents, not some crappy game's save files.
Crappy game.
Crappy game.
So, but I'm just curious, how do you guys feel about that? I mean, is that something that should be standardized, or is that something that should be kind of left up to the game? How do you feel?
I feel like it would be a good idea for there to be a standardized location for that kind of thing. In the past, it was perfectly fine saving it to the applications folder, but with Windows 7, actually they may have started this with Vista, but I know at least with Windows 7, Microsoft kind of discourages that, which is why they have the program files directory protected with administrative access, which is what has made the sub launcher a little bit tricky with that, because we require that in order to access and change files there, because Microsoft kind of discourages that. Now, I also agree that the My Documents folder is kind of where you put your documents, and it shouldn't really be invaded by a whole bunch of other stuff. Mm-hmm. But I think there should be a third folder, something along the lines of My Documents, but kind of like a game settings folder, or just kind of a specific location on your drive that is meant for application settings. Like in the on Mac OS X, you've got the application support folder, right? That is used for all that kind of stuff.
Right. Well, so then what I start to see is I see a lot of people, and people are commenting on it right now in the chat. They say there's an app data, and someone else has said there's a save data folder and things like that. What I hate even more is that then like you have you start to like suddenly have everything spread out, and if like, I don't know. I mean, they should be files that I think are easy to get to, and app data is hidden all the time.
Yeah, it's a hidden folder, which I don't like that either. It's kind of weird.
So I don't like that, and I know that Windows has implemented a saved data or something like game folder or something like that. And again, they're all in places that are hard to get to, and then they're spread out all over the place. And and then we, in our world, we have to deal with the Windows version, the Mac version, and the Linux version, and they're all spread out over everything. And so, it's just kind of frustrating to me when there's no good standard. And so I was just curious what you guys thought.
Yeah, I just think it's really, really annoying that there isn't a standard. I don't know why there isn't. Like, they should just have like a place somewhere where they're like, put all that stuff here, and there should be like one folder, because it really doesn't make sense, because it doesn't really matter if, because it's like all your applications things will be there, right? So so you won't have to look. I mean, for some purposes, I guess it makes sense to have several different folders where I don't know, there's like local and roaming and stuff. I know on Windows, I don't know what.
Yeah, there's 3 subfolders, and
doesn't really make sense. I don't know. They should just have it like the program folder. They have a like program files folder. They have like program files data folder. Pretty much the same thing. Like, you have a folder for the program, and then there you have the stuff for it. That would be simple and easy. So I really like having standards and following them, but it's really hard in this case because you don't know what it is, and people all seem to be like, no, this is the standard. No, this is the standard. It's just super duper annoying.
Yeah.
And every operating system changes their standards too. Like, they're like, this is the way we're going to do it from now on. What? We were wrong. We're going to do it this way for now. And on the Windows build, we actually have times when levels being saved are sometimes saved to the program files, sometimes they're saved to the My Documents, and sometimes they're saved to app data. I mean, it's saved to all 3 of them, and
makes getting support a little bit harder when you're trying to search for stuff.
It does, especially for people like me who don't have a Windows build in front of them, to be like, oh yeah, let's go look in this random hidden folder, so yeah, it's frustrating.
It's really weird. They should just go with something instead. It's better to just go with something than to just leave it like it is, I think. Anyways, Yeah, so that blog post, if you're interested in these kinds of things, which I hope you are, otherwise you're probably left by now.
How many people are watching?
I don't know. 45 people, if you're interested, is the answer to that. Hi, 45 people. Anyway, so if you're interested in that, there's the blog post by David. If you haven't already read it, really interesting stuff. We should jump on. Next on the agenda, and that is the last item on the agenda as well, is a tweet called, I'm calling it Aubrey's Notebook Sneak Peek, because David put up a picture of a sneak peek of an image from Aubrey's notebook. So let's take
Looks promising.
to that. Yes, sure does look promising. I personally though, I'm kind of like, I'm not entirely sure what it is, if you know what I mean. It's a bit hard to see. Let's actually see if we can't.
Looks like it's the inside of some sort of a cave or something,
Yeah.
leading out to the outside.
It's hard to tell if it's leading out or leading in.
Yeah, it's like all of these different things, and like if you look, see, that's because it's like monochrome, I guess, kind of.
Yeah. But there's also like cave paintings and things, but they seem really
Yeah.
high up on the wall, and so it's like, man, how did a rabbit get up there to draw it? And
Got a boost from the whale man.
Maybe he jumped. Yeah, that's the thing. Like you don't know how big those are. You don't have any perspective because it's so hard to see. And like if you look down there by, I don't know, the like the water. Is it water down there or is it sand? I'm not sure. It looks kind of like a
guess-
small like Arabic city.
I guess this is doing its job in being a teaser, huh?
Yeah,
I think
maybe. They want us to speculate. So
I think those are just supposed to be stalagmites. So
I don't even know what that is.
Pointy things in the ground that form in caves.
Oh, pointy things in the ground in caves. Okay.
yeah, there's stalactites, which are the ones that hang from the ceiling, and stalagmites that grow from the ground up. And it happens from water dripping and leaving mineral sediments behind. And
Interesting.
they're really cool.
Interesting.
They're really cool and very fragile, actually,
I see.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
and take hundreds of thousands of years to grow. So
Kind of like Crete.
Exactly.
I don't know if that takes hundreds of thousands of years though, but it's
I
kind
just
of
realized I can see a rabbit in the bottom right corner of the picture.
yeah.
For scale. That thing is tiny.
I know. So those rabbit drawings are like skyscraper sized, right?
No, seriously, that's super tall.
Yeah, so
Maybe. Yeah.
this
so-
image, it's kind of hard to decipher exactly what he's drawn here, but
Mm-hmm.
maybe like I am
Something-
hoping we'll get a
Potentially
more
in
finished
the
version or
comic.
something. Yeah, I was kind of thinking that maybe it's for the comic, but then like again, the comic I think is a thing that he needs to draw quickly there. He can't be like, I'm going to sketch out an elaborate sketch of how this scene in the comic is going to look, because he could just have done this on the computer and have like this frame be done instead, if you know what I mean, because the comic is drawn more quickly than most things. Oh, Black Sky DK in the chat says Half-Life 3. That might be, could be Half-Life 3.
Hey, E3 is coming up.
Yeah. This is an
Oh.
elaborate, what are they called? You know, these things where people have to do stuff by Valve.
Oh my gosh, my brain's totally drawing a blank. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I have no idea what you're talking
It's
about.
conspiracy theory.
kind of like that. Kind of like that. Valve has these things where they're like, oh, you need to decipher this image, and then you like find the sound thing, and then you convert that to an image.
Oh, like an alternate reality game, maybe?
No.
No,
No?
he's
Okay.
talking about like kind of like a PR thing, kind of like how
Yeah, exactly.
Nine Inch Nails left random clues that if you followed them to websites, you would get sneak peeks of the songs before the album was released. Yeah.
Yeah, ARGs,
Okay.
says Steeler7. ARGs.
Yeah, alternate reality
ARGs.
games.
Oh, so it is that. Yeah. I didn't know what it stood for, so I was like, yeah.
Yeah, no, I love that kind of stuff. It's fun.
Today I learned. So that's nice.
Cool.
And that's the end of the agenda for this week. So that's the end of the show, man. The end of the show. Aww. Well,
Aw, yeah.
Antone. Guys, you can always go
Sorry.
to ogweekly.com to watch previous episodes if you just can't get enough. And of course, we have our YouTube channel as well, where you can have some tutorials and random videos of people's levels and stuff like that. Really interesting stuff in general. But other than that, thank you for watching, I guess, and we'll see you guys next week.
See you guys soon. Thanks for tuning in.
Bye.